Hello. So, on the topic of boundaries, there's so much to cover, and I just want to get into this a little bit. This has to do with how we keep resetting and resetting and resetting our boundaries, and they keep getting broken and broken and broken and broken. And some of you may even be doing that in other areas of your life, not just with your narcissist. That's something we all need to check. And the further and further I get away from that period of time that I spent with my narcissist, it's becoming so clear to me how many times that transpires in the relationship with the narcissist. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how many times have we all done this, okay? Never! I'm never talking to you again. And you take their call the next day. Or lose my number, you psycho evil, and you take their call the next day. Or I'm done. I'm never ever putting up with this again. And you welcome them into your home the next day. I don't know why we don't trust our own boundaries that we put in place and accept the truth of what's happening the very first time it happens. You know, we are essentially teaching the narcissist how to treat us every time we do that. So they hear you. They see that. Yeah, she says I'll never talk to her again. Watch. Hello. And that's how easy they figure out it is to get back into talking with you, or breaking down another boundary you changed or shifted or moved so that you can accommodate more from the narcissist. I don't understand why we do that, because we should trust ourselves. We know what we can handle and what we can tolerate, yet we push our own limits, and we know we're doing it. And why? We're afraid he'll what? Leave? Stay gone? Not come back? Well, I'm here to tell you, if I had kept and stayed true to my very first boundary that was broken with the narcissist, that when it first was broken, then that would be the only bad memory I had with the narcissist. The subsequent 487 times, I seem to always pick that number, the subsequent 487 times of bad memories were all, I'm not going to say my fault. Nobody signs up to be abused like that. But it was my permission that allowed it to be in my life. With the very first thing that your narcissist does wrong to you, you probably can't even picture cutting it off at the knees, because we're dealing, of course, with all of the love bombing, and we're waiting for that stage to come back. We are at this point probably trauma bonded to this person, which, as we've researched and talked about, that can be stronger than love. We are sad that you're going to be alone and not with a person that you thought was going to lead to something real. All of these are valid reasons, I guess, to entertain staying with somebody. They're valid reasons for a second. But in the face of someone mistreating you, do we want to be alone with this person? Do we want a future with this person, even if it were possible? Even if your guy's not a narcissist and the future is possible and he's just having some wayward moment, do you want that in your life? That opening to allow someone to mistreat you? I taught my narcissist exactly how to treat me. And it's no different than raising children. We set boundaries, and there has to be what? Follow through with your children. Otherwise, they don't listen and they become hellions and blah, 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 blah. We all know what happens, right? If you don't have follow through, boundaries, guidelines with children. Structure. The narcissist brain is emotionally stunted. You are dealing with the emotional maturity of a toddler. if you start to think of them as children, the boundaries thing will more clearly pop into your mind as, oh my God, it's the same thing. Yeah. Oh yeah. So when they do something, a transgression, an act of vengeance, some kind of evil thing that they do, and you say, okay, even if you're screaming and crying and fighting with them for 4 hours, if you leave that door open and in they come, they're in. They'll put up with your 4-hour rant if they know they're still in and still on the team of Renee Supply or whatever is happening around you. They know that they're still going to be involved in it. You didn't shun them from your life. A lot of times I think that we keep moving the boundary because, well, of course it's why, we keep hoping this will be the last time and they're not going to do it again. Look at how mad I got. Let me tell you something. They loved that you got so mad. They got the biggest charge out of your 4-hour meltdown that they're going to do it again just to make you do that. In their mind, that meltdown shows them how much you care about them. It's them. It's always them. They're not upset that you're upset, even if they fake that they're upset that you're upset. They're kind of getting a little bit of a rise out of the fact that you got upset because they now can use that to fuel their ego. Ooh, look how mad I got her. Look at that. Look at her reaction. Whoa. My narcissist used to even say to me, I don't know if you hate me so much or love me so much by that reaction. And he would tell me right out that he would take my craziness to mean how much I loved him. When now I don't see it that way at all. I see it that I was challenged personally. I wasn't going to back down to what I was seeing as an external challenge beyond his control before I knew about narcissism. And I wasn't going to back down from the challenge. I'm going to be here for him. I'll move this boundary again. Next time it'll be better. Next time it's never better. It's never better. They don't respond to boundaries at all. It incenses them because nobody can tell a narcissist what to do. So in the very vein that we're trying to set boundaries and have them behave the way that we need in our life, they're looking at us like we have 3 heads. You can't put a boundary on a narcissistic person. They're entitled to do whatever they want. That's what part of the religion of their disorder. Whatever they want, to whomever they want, whenever they want. And if you are sitting there eating it every single time and allowing it every single time, and you might say, well, I didn't allow it. I gave him a really hard time. Your behavior is showing that you're allowing it if you're allowing them back into your space. And you might say, well, I feel bad that he doesn't have anybody else in the world. Well, why do you think he doesn't have anybody else in the world? That's called karma. Do they deserve anyone else in the world? And I don't like saying that sentence because that's sad to me. Because I like to think that everybody deserves love and a shot and a fair chance and you know what I mean? But if somebody has been hurting you again and again and again, and you keep moving your boundary, you are 100% giving them permission to do it to you again. Just like with a child, if we say don't do that and they do it and there's no consequence, it's the same exact 100% the same analogy. So they're going to learn from you, from us. Mine learned from me. It's okay to do that. I mean, I'm being facetious. But basically, that's the message. It's okay to do that. She'll be there anyway. She might get mad, but she'll be there anyway. I look back on that, like I said, the further distance I get away from having been with that person, and I despise beyond anything I could describe to you that somebody on earth even one time thought that about me. Thought, oh, she'll be back, or she'll let me back. I cringe at the thought that somebody thought I could be steamrolled right over and that I would accept it anyway. I cringe at the thought, but I set it up that way. So look at your own life. Are you setting it up that way? And you might say, well, I'm not ready to leave him, so what alternative do I have? I have to put up with what he's doing. Do you really, though? This isn't Russia or North Korea where we don't have choice. You have choices every day on how to behave and what to accept and what to insist for your own life. And the day that you realize that you have choice is hopefully the day that you'll start executing a choice that is good for your boundaries and respects your own boundaries. I'm at the point now that if somebody thinks about mistreating me, I'm out. I hope. I'm not dating anymore, but that's what I hope I am. That I have this level, this is where I want it to be. I don't want someone to be below this level in terms of treating people, treating me, treating the world, treating their own life. I have certain things that I want from a person, certain things, and they reflect what I'm willing to give a person. So you get from life what you put into life, yes? So the energy we put out into the universe comes back to us. If the energy you're putting out is completely accepting of someone that keeps breaking everything that is important to you, you're teaching them how to walk all over you. And it's time for you to step up. And I say that with caution because, again, if your narcissist is dangerous, you really do have to approach things differently. And there's help you can get. And you might even have to involve legal and police and all of this. I just really want all of us to respect our own value of ourselves. There's reasons you have things in place that you don't want someone to treat you a certain way. And forget about your partner for a minute. Would you accept that partner's behavior? Would you accept it from a friend? Would you accept it from a sibling, a cousin, a coworker? Probably not. If you pictured their behavior on somebody else, you'd probably say, oh my God, I'd never talk to that person again. Yet we hang on because we're so desperate for that love bombing person to come back. We need to respect our own boundaries and remember, I am not even kidding. I thought it through. If I had kept my first boundary, I would have one bad memory of the narcissist. That one. I would have cut it off, and that would have saved me however many subsequent horrible times, which only got worse with every boundary move and acceptance back. Of course it did. Of course it did. It's like a monster child being developed before my eyes. That's what I did. And I didn't put any of my own value into the relationship. So I encourage you to look inward at what you've been dealing with and how you might be able to turn that around and say, you know what, maybe I can't leave, but I certainly don't have to put up with this anymore, and I certainly don't have to put up with that anymore. And I can certainly, even if you've not done it before, it might shake things up, but you have a right to live a peaceful, happy life. So whatever you can do to bring that to yourself, you should do. That's all. Chin up.